Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of my Secrets for Beautiful Skin video. So this is part 2. If you have not seen part 1, please check out part 1. And I apologize in advance for some of the syncing issues with my video. I'm doing this video on my webcam. For some reason it has like a delay between my speech and my movement. I will have a new camera soon, so the videos will get better, so please bear with me. Anyhow, picking up where I left off in part 1, I was talking about how fats are important for your skin, okay? For people who follow my work, you know that I'm a nutritionist and I believe very much in sustainable agriculture. I believe in getting foods from our local environment as much as possible. Seasonal foods and foods from our local environment as much as possible. A lot of times the debate becomes animal versus plant source, but for me, the debate when it is really about sustainability. Okay, is that coming from a local source? This is very important because when we get a large amount of foods like acai berries from Brazil, and you can find acai juice and acai shakes and stuff in every state in America. So if you think about it, that's a lot of acai berries being shipped from Brazil up here. That depletes their local source. It also puts a lot of pollution into the environment, and the nutritional value is lower. So it's really great to get from local sources as much as possible. So some of the fats that some of the less popular fats these days, they are traditional fats that were used externally and internally for beautiful skin. But now today get a very bad rap, and that is beef tallow and lard. Okay, now beef tallow is a type of beef fat, and when it's coming from grass-fed cows, okay, not there's also deer tallow, but this is not coming from commercial factory cows that are eating grains and eating other cows, which cows are not supposed to eat grains. Cows are not supposed to eat other cows or chickens or any type of animal food. Cows are only supposed to eat grass, period. And when they eat anything else, it makes them sick, changes the fat content in their muscle, and also changes their blood and the whole nutritional value of that animal. Okay, so when you're getting beef tallow from grass-fed cows, it's very good because beef tallow is very high in CLA, which is conjugated linoleic acid, which I spoke about in my previous video, which I talk about in my All About Fats video. I talk about it in my raw milk video, because CLA fats, you can find them in any commercial fat burner. If you go to GNC, which I don't recommend buying GNC's products, because GNC is really a store for bodybuilders, and nothing in it is good for your health. Some of it may help you burn fat, some of it may help you look more a certain way, but it's not good for your overall health, the products in GNC. But if you go to GNC or any place and you look at commercial fat burners, they usually always have green tea extract, and they always have MCT and CLA fats. MCT fats are medium chain triglycerides, and then CLA fats, conjugated linoleic acid. Both of those fats are very potent in preventing cancer. They're very anti-cancerous, antimicrobial. They speed up your metabolism, and they help you burn fat. These fats are very good for your skin. Now, grass-fed beef tallow is very high in CLA fats. It's also a good source of saturated fats. And CLA, MCT fats are saturated, but they're medium chained. And like what I was saying with the shea butter and coconut oil, and palm oil, which are all saturated fats, okay, and they're amazing on the skin. However, and I love shea butter, but I live in New York City, and yes, I do use shea butter that is shipped from Africa, but it is good to use local sources, like beef tallow is a local source. When it comes to lard gets a bad rap, but lard is actually the same chemically as olive oil, okay? If you look at the breakup of fatty acids in lard, you can Google this, okay? You can Google the breakup of the fatty acids in lard, what it's composed of. You will find that it's mostly oleic acid. It's a lot of oleic acid and palmitic acid. Palmitic acid is what you find in palm oil, and oleic acid is what you find in olive oil. It's the same thing. It's a monounsaturated fat. So lard is like saturated and monounsaturated. It's a mixture of monounsaturated and saturated. That's why it's good to cook with. That's why if someone's going to fry chicken or You're going to fry something. Frying it in lard is good. That's the reason why cooking in beef tallow, like McDonald's used to make the fries in beef tallow, and now they make it in canola oil. And the quality of McDonald's food is going down. People used to cook in lard and bake with lard, baked goods, and tallow for a long time. But traditionally, soaps were made from beef tallow and in lard as well. Now you don't see that too much because people are so terrified that, it's so not good and it's so gross and, excuse my phone. So they've gotten a bad rap. The other thing too about beef tallow is that it's very antimicrobial as well. And so is coconut oil, so is shea butter. They're also very antimicrobial. But this is the overall thing is that fats, okay, saturated fats are very important. Monounsaturated fats are very important. The polyunsaturated fats are important, but they go bad very easily. They need to be kept cold. They're not the best to be putting on your skin. Not polyunsaturated fats. And again, I get more into fat chemistry in my video all about fats, which I believe is on my other YouTube channel, The Body Scientist 81. Please join this channel, The Queen Lioness, and please join my other channel, The Body Scientist 81. But I believe it's on that channel, and I get more in depth about the chemistry of fats, so you understand why I'm saying that about polyunsaturated fats. But you wouldn't want to put polyunsaturated fats in your skin because they're very sensitive to air, light, and heat. Saturated fats are more stable with that. That's why you cook with saturated fats. That's why saturated fats are better for your skin. Okay, so beef tallow can be a great local source. It can be used for soap making, and people use it in moisturizers as well. And the same thing with lard. So I do encourage people to look that up. Also, raw milk, which is another thing. I was talking about bathing in goat's milk, cow's milk, some type of milk. And traditionally, you hear of people taking milk baths, especially Cleopatra. We hear a lot about her milk baths and the milk and honey or roses and different flower essences mixed with that, which is a very interesting thing because flowers, a lot of people know flowers to be yoni symbols, and they are, but flowers really symbolize menstrual blood and the woman's moon time. So they're very feminine symbols, and so is milk, because every culture had a cow goddess and they worshipped the cow goddess, and so milk was like a sacred food. And some people, like bathed in it because the alpha hydroxy acids that are in raw milk help to get rid of dead skin cells and replenish dead skin cells. So if you go to the drugstore and you find any type of like skin cream and make you younger skin cream, it always has alpha hydroxy acid in it, but it was added in the laboratory and naturally occurs in foods such as raw milk. So this is one of the reasons why using milk soaps, raw milk soaps, or bathing in it, like sitting in it, helps to really clean off all the dead skin cells and nourish your skin. When combining it with honey, it has even more of that effect because honey is very antimicrobial, honey is very hydrating, and it makes your skin very soft. I know for me, like as I mentioned in a previous video, that I've used shea butter mostly on my skin. When I'm traveling, let's say I'm traveling and I don't have my shea butter, I can't get to someplace to get coconut oil. As a last resort, I'll get olive oil, because you can find extra virgin cold pressed olive oil anywhere. Virtually any supermarket in America has olive oil. So olive oil is good for your skin. However, I don't like olive oil as much as coconut oil or shea butter on my skin. The beef tallow and the lard, I have not tried that yet. I do know though that it is good for your skin, and it is used a lot in soap making traditionally and for moisturizers, especially tallow. And tallow is considered to be better even than the lard. And I would like to try it. It's hard to find. I may end up making my own. But I do believe very much in local sources. So that will be something that I will experiment with, and I'll report back to it. But people rave about beef tallow as a moisturizer. Okay. And sustainable agriculture is very important. When people, people talk about going back to nature, and if you're watching this video, it's probably because you're interested in that. Like, how can you naturally make your skin better? Well, it's important for us to remember that everything is interconnected. So you don't want to do something to try to make yourself better at the expense or detriment of someone or something else. So it's easy for us to be like, oh yeah, I mean, I love shea butter and you want it all the time, but how much, the fact that like, any day of the week, I can go to the streets in Harlem, streets in Brooklyn, and many other cities where you can find shea butter. So there's a lot of shea butter being shipped from Africa over here, you know. It's a high demand, You can't easily find it all over the United States, but most major cities I've been to, you can find it if you know what's up. So just with that, and now it's becoming now like a lot of the lotion companies and stuff are wanting to use shea butter extract and shea butter isolate and all this other stuff. So really, and again, like fats are the most important thing for your skin. Okay. I also find if you have like some type of cut or something you're trying to heal on your skin, you've cut your skin, you've bruised your skin, I really find and believe that shea butter is so good at helping to heal it. And again, all those fats are antimicrobial. Another thing that's very good for your skin is aloe, like fresh out of the plant. Like especially if you've cut yourself or you're healing something, aloe helps your collagen to regenerate faster, to really, that collagen and all the connective stuff to regenerate faster and heal much, much faster. So aloe, and also aloe is very antimicrobial, extremely antimicrobial, antiviral. So aloe is another one that's excellent. And also, I'll talk about bathing in raw milk. But drinking raw milk is very good for your skin because you are getting those fats internally. Okay, so you're getting the MCT fats, the CLA fats, the omega-3 fats, and I'm talking about grass-fed raw milk. And you're getting very high-quality protein. The protein in raw animal milk is the best for muscle recovery and building. So, and then all the probiotics. There's lots of probiotics and lots of enzymes. Amylase, lipase, lactase, enzymes in raw milk. So when you drink that, it's like taking, like people take digestive enzyme pills and people are trying to get probiotics, consuming Dannon yogurt, Activia and stuff. When you have lots of beneficial bacteria in raw milk, that helps your immune system and your digestion. And your skin, because your skin is really a reflection of what's going on internally inside of you. So it's important that we don't ignore the signs our body gives us. It's important that we don't just try to be like, oh, I'm going to cover it up with makeup so nobody can see this skin discoloration and the bad outbreaks. What is your body telling you? If you choose to ignore it and be like, well, I'm just going to cover it up, nobody can see it, but you're not doing what you need to do to correct it, then that's going to manifest someplace else. It's going to get worse. And when it gets worse, it may not be your skin. It could be other parts of your body. But before somebody gets really sick and stuff like that happens, there are always warning signs. So it's very important for us not only to take care of our bodies, but it's also very important for us to pay attention to what our body is telling us. Have a relationship and a connection so you understand what your body is telling you. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to say about the skin. I talked about how important the fats are. I got to talk about the tallow and the lard. And butter is also another one that's great. Some people ask me on video number 1, like what oils are good to cook with. It depends on what you're cooking, but butter is excellent to cook with. Grass-fed raw butter, if you can get that, grass-fed butter. And I cook in bacon grease. I eat pork bacon all the time, and I get my bacon from a local farm. Sometimes from Vermont or from the farmer's market. And pasture bacon is different than the bacon that comes from a sick pig from the commercial food industry. 2 different things, different nutritional makeup, different taste, and different energy. Okay, so I save my bacon fat, and I will cook in it. Sometimes I cook my eggs in it. It's also good. Coconut oil is a good fat to cook in. I personally am not that crazy about the taste, but again, it depends on what I'm cooking. But coconut oil. Olive oil is not so good to cook with. Olive oil is better at room temperature. Olive oil is not the worst oil to cook with, but it's not the best. You know, it's okay, and it's better when it's room temperature or cold. The best fats to cook with are always saturated fats. Those are also the best fats to go outside in the sun with. And so notice olive oil doesn't come from Africa or the Caribbean or South America. Olive oil comes from the Mediterranean, where the temperature is more moderate. Okay, so it's not freezing, but it's not as hot as some places. So it's at moderate. So that's what monounsaturated fats are. The polyunsaturated fats are very unstable to air, light, and heat. Air, light, and heat. So, the more unstable a fat is, monounsaturated fats are too, but they're not as unstable as polyunsaturated fats. So if you notice it, you find the polyunsaturated fatty acids in cold water fish, such as salmon, and you don't find them in the Caribbean, in the fish that are in hot water. They come in the cold water fatty fish. That's where you find omega-3, which is a polyunsaturated fat, which you would never want to cook with. Okay, and again, notice how the Eskimos ate their salmon and their fish raw. Okay, that's another thing. When talking about raw foods, I'm not going to get too much into that in this video, because I'll do another video about juice and raw foods. But really, the best foods raw really are some raw seafood. You find, you know, whether you're talking about sushi or ceviche in the Spanish-speaking countries, where it's raw seafood, raw fish, raw shellfish, and raw milk, even raw eggs. Eggs are another thing that's good for your skin. The egg white and the yolk, because the yolk has a lot of vitamin A, especially eggs from pasture chickens, not eggs from the regular supermarket. And really, if you can avoid it, not even the organic eggs from Whole Foods or whatever, because those organic vegetarian feed eggs are not the same as pasture eggs, which are come from chickens that run around the pasture picking at their worms and their insects and eating some grass, because chickens are omnivores, they're not vegetarians. So when you get eggs from those type of chickens, the yolk is like orange, okay? And the more orange it is, okay, it's like the color of this hat. That's what the yolk looks like, okay? It's not yellow. The more orange it is, it's an indication of the higher content of vitamin A and iron, okay? Because iron is associated with red, like when that red color is that iron. And the cholesterol, which the cholesterol is important to intake internally for your hormones and for your cells, because cholesterol helps your cells be waterproof and not too permeable to water, so water doesn't seep into your cells and people it's not supposed to be. And cholesterol, like I said in video number 1, we need to produce vitamin D from the sun. So, and the egg whites are very good for your skin as well, to put on as a mask. It's like a good anti-wrinkle tightening mask. And eggs are also very high in fat. So just remember that the fats that you intake internally, my glasses are driving me crazy, like falling off my face. I should have done this video without them. Okay, bear with me. The fats that you intake internally and the fats that you put on externally both affect the appearance and look of your skin. Okay, so this is the most important thing that I can say, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there's any other points I didn't make. I don't think so. If there is, I'll end up putting it in a blog post. So just check my blog, thebodyscientist.blogspot.com. thebodyscientist.blogspot.com. And please join my YouTube video. My YouTube pages. The Queen Lioness and the Body Scientist 81. Okay, so thanks for listening, and if you like the video, please share it. Peace, people. Stay beautiful.